We're gonna be stowed away on this train for quite a while. It'll give me time to catch up on the conversation. I mean, that'll be great.
Hello and welcome to the Kongversation. I'm Hyle Russell.
I'm Chad McCanna.
And this week we're joined by...
Hello, I'm Joe Mudd, and I'm happy to be here.
You have a bit of an act to follow, Joe.
Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah, that's true.
we kind of promised Miyamoto at the end of last week.
Well, you didn't say when. But anyway, it's great to have you on the show, Joe.
There should be, if there were a poll on DK Vine, who do you like more, Miyamoto or Joe? I think I'd win.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I never cancelled Dinosaur Planet.
Yeah, but you didn't put Diddy Kong in Diddy Kong Racing either, Joe.
Yeah, true, but I didn't introduce the blowing mechanic in Donkey Kong Country Returns, did I?
Ooh, so, okay.
This is just the greatest hits of like the emotional roller coaster that is Shigeru Miyamoto's representation in the Donkey Kong universe.
That is true, yeah.
Yeah. Well, personally, I think the Kongversation is just proof that people will listen to subpar podcasts so long as the editing is good.
Well, see,
that's true.
Yeah, although we don't have any editing, so I don't know what that's proof of.
Right. This show is live. You do realize it goes over the air live whenever people listen to it.
Yeah, over the air between your vocal cords and the microphone.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
We've got a special deal with YouTube and iTunes. Somehow it works. Don't question it. Anyway, so obviously we're coming down from the big high of last week.
Obviously, we just used all of our podcasting prowess in that one, and we're just sort of coasting on our laurels.
Right. This is the refractory period. We've made a mess all over the place.
Okay, if you ever want to get another person of Chris Sutherland's caliber on the show, you probably shouldn't frame his post-interview state as a refractory period that we need to clean up from.
I don't know. I mean, we could get Gary Glitter.
Matt's been begging for that one for weeks.
Because Gary Glitter, Donkey Kong Land 2 commercial, remember? I mean, it's relevant.
And the hit song, Donkey Kong, hey, Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong, hey, Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong, hey, Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong, hey, Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong.
Yeah, that should have been in the advert.
All right, well, we've got a lot of show to get to today because somehow, after the Chris Sutherland interview, the world exploded. And
not literally, mind.
No, because we're all still alive.
No, we're still here. We're not floating on chunks of asteroids, or we haven't relocated to Mars. But the whole Donkey Kong universe has kind of taken on a new shape in just the last 8 days. So we have a lot to get to. So let's get to some due diligence first, because it's been a while. We didn't do it last week out of respect for Chris Sutherland.
Mm-hmm. The listeners are sitting there scratching their arms like, come on, man, I need my fixed due diligence.
That's right. They want it as bad as we want to give it to them. So call the DK Vine hotline at 1-281-410-KONG. That's 5664. You don't have to ask Chris Sutherland questions anymore, so stop doing that.
Please, Mamechi, enough.
Bill Clinton calls it, hey, baby, I just want to know, I got a question for Chris Sutherland. What was it like working in the barn? I did some of my best work in the barn.
Why is Bill Clinton now like a bestial country bumpkin?
I did a lot of good work out in the barn and in a tool shed, if you know what I mean.
I wear suspenders, and I've always got a piece of wheat in my mouth.
I was going to be in Diddy Kong Pilot. But they cut me for Candy Kong.
My other title is Redneck President.
But, I was okay being cut. I was okay when I was cut for Candy Kong because she's got the big old titties and I love them.
The boobies go flip, flip, floppity, flip.
I'm sorry. I think this is the first time I've been on an episode with you guys doing the Clinton voice, but it's something about it just tickles my funny bone. I think it's just because
my funny bone too, Joe. It tickles all my bones.
Especially my favorite one.
That was what I was implying.
I don't know why I'm talking to myself.
I think it's dementia from all those years eating McDonald's
and all those years eating pussy. Right, Michael? Oh shit, what's his name? Catherine Zeta-Jones' husband. The
Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas. Thank you. The guy who got cancer from eating pussy. Okay.
Oh, right.
Anyway, it's like it makes me laugh so much because I just think, how the hell did this man become president of the United States?
He was a good president.
Yeah. Please do not judge the legacy of William Jefferson Clinton by the Kongversation.
Right. What we're doing is the exaggerated, hacky version of Bill Clinton, who is just obsessed with sex and fast food.
Actually, to be fair, I think what we're doing is the exaggerated, hacky version of the exaggerated, hacky version of Bill Clinton.
Right. It's a few impressions removed from a legitimate Clinton impression.
Oh yeah. It's a bit like, I suppose, how like British people would imitate Margaret Thatcher more or less as grunty. Yeah.
Adds up. Wait, was Gruntilda an allegory for Margaret Thatcher?
No, not that I know of. Although when she died, they did play "Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead," and it actually rose in the radio charts.
I remember hearing that. Yeah.
It is strange though that all of her communiques to Ronald Reagan's State Department were in rhyme.
I was going to try and think of a funny rhyme, but I just can't think of them. I don't know how they came up with all those rhymes in that game. It's amazing. They're all the same.
She also really wanted to put an underwear factory on the Falkland Islands. So,
what are we talking about?
I don't know. Sorry,
you got us onto a Clinton thing. We were talking about the hotline, and I met you.
Oh yeah, Clinton might call in.
Yeah, if you want to get on a Clinton thing, you can get on it anytime you want, ladies. I'm always available.
Okay.
You know.
Anyway, so hey, we've also got a forum. It's called the DK Vine Forum. There has never been a better time to join the DK Vine Forum. Seriously, we've got a lot to talk about right now, and if you want to talk with like-minded weirdos, here's your chance. It's at dkvine.com/forum.
We wear that like a badge of honor around here.
That we do. Also, subscribe to The Kongversation on iTunes. A lot of you did that last week, so thank you. Keep it coming.
Oh, yeah, that last week's episode got us a bit of fame, didn't it? Fame and fortune.
A little bit. A wee bit. I mean,
yeah, minus the fortune.
Oh.
Yeah. Or really the fame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It got us some
infamy.
No, I mean well, thank you, Go Nintendo, for running the story.
Oh, is that all it was?
Yeah, it's Kongversation and the latest breaking news from IGN.
Rate us on iTunes and follow DK Vine on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, YouTube. Chad, I often talk about my exploits on Facebook and Cameron's exploits on Tumblr. You've been tearing it up on Twitter the past couple of weeks.
I have been tearing it up on Twitter to such a degree that you need to go alliterative with it. It's actually a lot of fun, I'm finding, this whole Twitter thing, because it gives us a direct communique venue with a lot of our heroes. So, it's nice to keep tabs on not only those that are still at Rare, but the ones that have since moved on, and see kind of what a lot of their smaller indie studios are working on.
Such as like Lee Loveday's sex shop. All those wonderful like pairs of red underpants you can buy in there.
Oh, I didn't know if that was a game title or an actual sex shop.
An actual sex shop was the intention.
Oh, okay.
That's actually what they were going to call coconut crackers before settling on It's Mr. Pants.
I tell you this, though, that if there was a game called Lee Loveday's Sex Shop, I would play it all the way to the full 69% completion.
Indeed. Yeah, you would never see his face, though.
Right, it's just a dog.
Nobody knows that.
Nobody knows what that's a reference to. Okay, never mind.
Wait, was Lee Loveday into dogs?
No.
Oh,
No.
I mean, he likes dogs. I mean, I'm sure. But...
It's a very insular social networking joke. Never mind.
Anyway, so yeah, Jeff Odin traditionally handles our Twitter. Jeff has been very busy, and Chad, you kind of just fell into it, and so yeah, our Twitter has kind of seen a renaissance, and that's a word we'll be using a lot this week.
Ooh, I can't imagine why.
And I'll be pronouncing it properly. I'll be saying Renaissance.
Oh, is that a reference to Renee Zellweger and her plastic surgery?
We've done this one. No, it's just how British people say it. But sure, all right. I think the whole internet should be calling the new fresh-faced Renee, the Renaissance.
Finally, if you're a Donkey Kong Universe fan who loves Bill Clinton impressions, and you know other people like that, tell them about the show.
That is the worst sales pitch. Yeah.
Well, I'm a terrible salesman, and honestly, I'm terrible at life in general. So
terrible at life.
Anyway, so that's the due diligence for this week, Chad. Joe,
this is just a fucking. Should we just stop and start the episode again? This is a train wreck.
No.
Fine.
It's good. It's good. It's good.
God, Chad.
I feel like I'm answering to a higher authority, right? Like our standards should be that much higher, but I guess they can't all be Chris Sutherland winners.
Hey, we haven't made a single rape joke this week.
Well, there you go. Thanks.
That was a reference to. It wasn't joking about.
All right. Well, we still. I haven't listened to which of the intros are going on the front of this episode, so it's entirely likely there's already been one.
Oh, right. Wow.
Good. I just feel the show would be naked without at least one by this point.
Yeah. It's like the opposite of the Emperor's New Clothes.
Okay.
So anyway, we have a lot of news to discuss, as we alluded to, but we do have some calls to take, Chad.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be okay with us taking some calls? Would you think would that get the wrecked train back on the tracks?
Let's. God, we can't get much worse. I say we give it a shot.
All right.
I think I'd have to object, knowing what these calls are like.
But we haven't heard them yet, Joe.
Oh, that's right. We haven't heard them yet. Sorry.
Hi, this is Donkey Kong fanboy. I'm a huge Donkey Kong fan, and please call me back if this is a real person, but yes, I enjoy all the games. So, and thank you for bringing it back to us in the U.S. for us to play again. Alright. Call me back. You can find me on Kick Messenger, and my name is the same. So, peace. I like to be friends with DK Vine. Maybe play some games. Alright, peace out.
All right, so that was Donkey Kong Fun Boy. I
think it was Fanboy.
Do you know what I think? I think our hotline, the number for our hotline, has accidentally been mixed up with the Samaritans.
What are the Samaritans? I don't get
like
this.
a suicide hotline.
Oh, okay, that must be an English suicide. Like,
yeah.
You mean friendly people? I don't know what you mean by that. That's an English. That must be one of your socialized initiatives.
What? Are you playing in the UK? There are a lot of people wanting to commit suicide because, yeah.
No, I'm playing at the fact that you actually have things like suicide prevention hotlines that are probably subsidized by the government.
No idea.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
NHS and all that, right?
Oh yeah. I suppose it must be. Yeah, because we help people with mental health problems. So yeah.
Yeah. No, here helping out people with mental health problems means throwing little round pieces of metal at them as you walk past going to work.
It's true. When I talk about my years of therapy, that's what I'm alluding to.
There you go. You've just got Satan in you, and we need to cleanse you with the Bible and cleanse the depression and the homosexuality out of you with this holy water.
The depression and homosexuality.
I'd say that's a lethal combination.
Gay until proven straight.
So anyway, Donkey Kong. I think it's Donkey Kong Fanboy, but I prefer Donkey Kong Funboy.
Yeah.
So let's go with Donkey Kong Funboy.
Donkey Kong
just
Funboy is
sounds
a regular in the
dirty.
X-Boy dungeon.
Oh man, that
Although
place.
they'll have to change it to Mr. Pants Funboy, for copyright reasons.
Of course.
Yeah.
Sounds even worse.
Yeah. So thanks for the call. There wasn't really much of a question. It was.
Well, he would like to be friends with DK Vine and maybe play some games. And Donkey Kong Funboy, I would love to play games with you. Fortunately, Nintendo's online capabilities are kind of mediocre right now.
Oh, well, we'll be getting into that yet again when we talk about Mario Party 10 at length.
I think what it is it's like Nintendo's online main server is a 50k modem, 56k modem with like a tin can on a string coming out of it. And Iwata just speaking into it, going, "You will be connected in a second. Please understand."
That's all his job is now. It's,
Yeah.
it's,
But then when he
it's-
steps out to the toilet, no one can get connected.
The shareholders have spoken, and that's all he's allowed to do.
yeah. All he does is make please understand statements to shareholders about one day doing mobile games and talking into that tin can.
The tin can is actually the NX.
I thought. Very good.
So
All right.
I don't have anything else to say about Donkey Kong Funboy.
Well,
I should confirm that
thank-
we are real people.
Yeah.
Do we
Yeah.
have his phone number? Can we call him back? I don't really want to harass him or get in trouble with the police or anything.
No, but technically, yeah, I do have his phone number. It came in on the hotline.
Hi, Donkey Kong Funboy. How you doing?
That is
We'll
the thing
call him
of
as
nightmares.
Bill Clinton, Jimmy Fallon, and Clara Oswald all together, shall we? Just to prove that we are real people and not just a bunch of voices.
We could do that, but I feel like that would be mean, so I'm not.
I also feel like doing vocal impressions to prove to someone you're a real person is sort of counterintuitive.
Yeah, that was my point.
Oh, I get it. Yeah.
Oh, I was explaining Joe's joke. Okay.
Oh, wait, you were explaining my joke. Now I get it.
Oh, you said something clever, and I didn't get it at first, so I was trying to say something clever on top of it. Oh.
Hey, yo, it's me. I was curious if there's any way to talk to a real person on DK Vine, because I'd like to make friends with you and your company. You know, I never had any friends like that who could, give me, I don't know, some kind of ideas of games or anything. But I like to talk to someone who isn't recording. But I like the fact that you brought Donkey Kong Country back. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I always wanted to be like Donkey Kong or Diddy or Dixie. Alright, peace out. And please, let me know if you're going to contact me. I like to talk to a real person. Thank you. Bye.
Hey guys, it's him.
It's him.
Was this Donkey Kong Funboy again?
I don't know, but apparently he feels
It's
like
really getting hard to tell them apart, isn't it?
yeah.
I tell you what, we really need to get some more charismatic people on the forum because everyone is just like, "Hey guys, I have a question for you. Who do you prefer, Brash Bear or Barnacle Bear?"
Oh, I would love that call.
I would love to get that question.
Yeah.
Why isn't anybody asking us which brother bear is best?
That's a really good question. Well, this person, if they are Donkey Kong Funboy or not, they still want to talk to a real person. And I wonder if
we're
they
the worst
understand.
detectives in the world that you have this guy's phone number and we still can't determine if he's the same
Oh,
guy.
come on. Do you really want me to look it up right now? Okay, I'll do it.
No, it's not really that important.
Oh, it's extremely important. Yeah, it's the same person.
Okay.
Okay.
Donkey Kong Funboy. Okay.
Yeah.
I can assure you we're real. And now, I'm a little confused by the nature of this call, though, because it seems like you think we made Donkey Kong Country, or you're attributing something to us about the creation or the return of it on the eShop? Or help me out, somebody.
I have no idea what he's trying to. I would assume it's the eShop, but
Is he actually asking a question, or is he just
no,
no. Oh,
not at all. I don't even know why we played this, to be honest. It seems like we're just wasting our time and everyone else's.
The thing I like about the call,
I
though,
told
that-
you so.
The thing I like about the call is that he says he always wanted to be like Donkey Kong, Diddy, or Dixie.
Oof, major
And-
burn on Kiddy.
That is, yeah.
Kiddy Kong's just sitting there crying.
And I can relate. I've always wanted to be like those 3 role models too.
Role models. These 2 mass murderers of crocodile men.
Unintentional mass murderers. Diddy does a really nice cartwheel, and I've always wanted to do a nice cartwheel.
I've never been able to do a cartwheel before.
Neither have I, and it's always been a source of shame. And I feel like as I get older, it's only going to be harder to do one. So I feel like I missed the boat on cartwheeling.
Yeah, I just want to know what hairspray Dixie's using.
This is what happens when we take calls that don't have questions in them.
Well, maybe the next one will have a question. Maybe the next call will be one of those Sterling Mamechi calls where he asks us only a question he could come up with, and then we have to spend 5 minutes figuring out a way to answer it.
It's almost as if you've already heard this.
Help us.
No, I've just listened to the Kongversation every week. I know how this goes.
Why would you do that? Why would you relive this nightmare?
Help us, Mamechi. You're our only hope. Oh, fine.
Sorry, I accidentally touched the drop call button, but anyway, here's James. I call again. Hey, you guys, it's, met you again. The only guy who calls almost every week at least. Anyway, I just got done seeing the trailer for Pixels. If you don't know, it's the new Adam Sandler comedy about, video games taking over the world or something. I don't know. Kind of looks really terrible, like every other Adam Sandler movie. But Donkey Kong is in the movie. Now, not sure if this is meant to be, or Donkey Kong or the Cranky Kong, but got me thinking a bit. Is Donkey Kong arcade game really that ingrained into pop culture? Well, kind of mean that. Well, if you look up, it's just I think that Rare's Donkey Kong is a bit more popular than that because, well, what I've noticed is that whenever you see arcade Donkey Kong nowadays, it's usually like a commercial TV thing or just a stupid reference, or it's Nintendo trying to make it seem relevant again, like with the Mario vs. Donkey Kong series or Nintendo Land, on Kong Crash Course. So, and what I noticed is that my parents, for example, who are, probably old enough to have played the original Donkey Kong, don't really care for that. Well, I mean, what I mean is basically, when they think of Donkey Kong, they think more of the Donkey Kong 64 or Super Nintendo Donkey Kong games. Most probably because I play those all the time. But that said, what do you think is more ingrained into a pop culture? The arcade Donkey Kong or Rare's Donkey Kong? If you ask me, I think Nintendo just wants to make all the retro stuff seem more, like it actually mattered when back in the day. I think that it's just Mario that was popular, or Mario, maybe because Zelda. Zelda's not that popular either. I know that for a fact. And the Rare's Donkey Kong just happens to be so much better than the Donkey Kong Nintendo made. And I think they're a little envious about that.
End low. There was Mamechi.
Now, this is actually, it wasn't a question, kind of.
It was. He just took a very roundabout way to get there. We took a detour down Happy Madison. So we should talk about this briefly. The Pixels trailer, which included a representation by a giant alien manifestation of the arcade Donkey Kong. Joe, you just got done watching the trailer before we recorded, right?
Yeah, and I tell you what, I watched that Futurama episode fucking 15 years ago.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much the universal consensus to people that aren't under a rock.
To be fair, Adam Sandler has only been relevant since about 15 years ago, so... I mean, I think
he's only been relevant since he was 15 years old, judging by his style of humor.
Well, yeah, I'm actually shocked that he's making this as shameless of a ripoff as that Futurama segment is, because...
Not only that, we've just had Wreck-It Ralph, which did all this better, you know?
Well, yeah, but usually Adam Sandler's modus operandi now is, I'm going to make a movie, I'm going to charge the studio billions of dollars, I'm going to go someplace exotic and have a payday for my family and friends.
And he's admitted as much.
Yeah, the Sony, the hacked Sony emails, Sony knows this too, but he's got like an ironclad contract.
Well, that's largely due to Middle America.
Yeah.
True.
So Adam Sandler's basically going, I'm a celebrity. I'm meant to be a role model for the vast public to look up to because something about me makes me better than the majority of you. That's why I'm famous. And I'm going to admit the fact that I'm abusing my power for my own personal gain. That's what he's doing.
I don't know that he ever says he's better than anyone. I just think.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, as a celebrity, you know, you must become a celebrity. It must mean that you've got something that the majority of people don't have. Is what I'm saying. You know, that should be the whole point of a celebrity. You know?
That's not the way celebrity works in America, Joe.
That's true.
That's not the way celebrity works in the first world in general. It's not a uniquely American thing.
I guess that's true. You guys have the same trashy tabloid culture, but you also have the royals too, where we kind of have to replace the royals with things like Kardashians.
I was just about to make that exact point.
So, I don't know. This movie looks. The concept is weak.
Well, no, the concept is strong. The timeliness of it is weak.
It's just. I mean, did it make you smile at all? Did the trailer make you laugh or chuckle?
Actually, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. There were a couple parts. I was surprised, honestly. I felt I had smiled in a couple places despite myself.
Maybe I was trying too hard to hate it, and
I feel like you do that a lot, though. You get caught up in prejudging quite a bit.
That's the best way to experience movies and sex. And I'm sorry if neither of you have experienced the pure rage hatred of an angry ejaculation, but it's something to behold.
All right, I'll take your word for it.
All right.
So, are you saying you basically were having an angry orgasm while watching this trailer? I'm a little confused of your point.
I mean, whenever I see Peter Dinklage, it's involuntary at this point. But
it makes your Peter Dinklage. No, there were a couple moments. Like there was one bit where one of those signature record scratch moments where we're gonna take the music out and the main character says something funny, and I actually I smirked at that, where Adam Sandler basically says we're all gonna die, and then you expect it to cut back to something, but it waits an awkward beat, and then he just kind of like apologizes under his breath. That, I smirked at that.
Yeah, I guess that.
I'd say what really made me cringe. The female character going, "What? You think because I'm a girl and I have boobs, I don't play video games? Girls can play video games too, you know."
Oh, that wasn't a female character. That was Kevin James.
What? Who?
Paul Blart Mall Cop 2.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Not to be confused with Paul Blart Mall Cop. Josh Gad has lost a lot of weight. I didn't realize that was him.
Yeah,
I didn't recognize him like without the carrot for a nose.
Oh yeah. I forgot he was the voice of that. I know him from. I obsessively spent a couple months listening to the Book of Mormon original cast recording, and he was on the original cast. So his voice is embedded in my appreciation of those songs in my brain. But I know him as the big bumbling fat Mormon missionary that goes to Uganda. I don't know him as this. He sort of did the same thing that Seth Rogen and Jonah Hill have done, where they slim up and you're used to seeing them as larger gentlemen, and your brain doesn't look right, you know.
I'd say what's worse though, when you're used to seeing someone thin and then they put on loads of weight and you think, Jesus Christ, and you just can't comprehend it. It's the same person. That's scary.
Yeah, that's the Val Kilmer version.
You know who also really slimmed up? Mario.
Oh yeah,
Mario.
Yeah, look how fat he was in those early years, and now look how slim and trim he is now.
Oh, yeah,
a little paunchy.
I say with Pikachu as well. Pikachu.
Oh yeah, Pikachu definitely.
Yeah.
He used to be round.
That's just because Pikachu's kept in a kennel and he's not fed properly.
I was gonna say it's all that Wii Fit they've been doing.
It's being crammed inside of a Pokeball for extended lengths of time.
Yeah.
So is there supposed to be, hang on, Joe, I know that you play more Pokemon than us. Is there supposed to be like a parallel universe inside the Pokeball, or do they shrink, or what's meant to be happening in there?
They shrink, I guess.
I always thought it was like a
stasis.
I always thought it was like Genie's bottle for My Dream of Genie, where they have like a little apartment in there, like a little studio apartment.
Did you ever see that one where she took Major Nelson down into the bottle?
Oh yeah, and I was like, do her! Come on, what are you waiting for?
Yeah,
do her!
There's a circular pillow right there. Do her on the circular pillow.
Well, I would say Game Freak's philosophy is answer as few questions as possible about the universe we have created, and then the anime's philosophy is give as many inconsistent and contradictory answers to these questions as possible.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, and then Dorkly's philosophy is make as many crappy observational jokes about these logical fallacies as possible.
I don't even know what Dorkly is.
Good.
Okay.
Spin-off of College Humor about video game jokes. They just do really... I've ranted about them before. They would do like...
See, as has been established, I don't listen to the show.
Yeah, I think everyone switched off when I took over as... I replaced you as the co-host. I'm like bloody Ashton Kutcher in 2.5 Men.
No, I actually did listen to all your episodes and quite enjoyed them. I just have a horrible memory for that sort of obscura, like little moments.
Yeah, it's true. I rant about a lot of websites, so it's understandable if you slip through the cracks.
During the Chabatical, which is what I called Chad's absence last fall. During the Chabatical, Chad probably did smoke a lot of weed, so...
Well, I never. Not literally, mind.
Anyway, Mamechi, you're not sure if it's DK or Cranky. It's Cranky. It's Cranky. It's Young Cranky. Why is this a question? It's not even Young Cranky. It's an alien repurposed to look like Young Cranky.
Yeah.
Not that this matters because this is an Adam Sandler movie and it's not a video game.
Yeah. But his actual question was, what is more ingrained into pop culture? And he seemed surprised that DK... The arcade property is significant enough to have this role in the film, but I think he's just misjudging the popularity of the Donkey Kong arcade.
All right, well, see, I'm not like a lot of DK Viners in that I've actually gone outside and spoken to other people in real life, and I would say that...
What's that like?
Shit, to be honest, remain indoors, honestly. Anyway.
It left you wanting. All right.
Anyway, and universally, nobody knows that arcade DK is not modern day DK, and also nobody cares. And if you try and explain this to people, it will go over their heads. So I think it's only us at DK Vine that care about this whole, which DK.
Well, that's our mission statement. It's to make people care.
Is that what it is? Is that why we're doing this?
It's evolving into that platform. Yes. Just like any good movement, it starts off with good intentions. Mm-hmm. And then it quickly spirals out of control.
And then before you know it, we're picketing Leonard Nimoy's funeral.
That's right.
All right. So,
all right.
Thanks.
So,
well, no, wait. We still didn't answer the question. You gave it 5 minutes of us trying to figure out what
I was gonna say, did the Westboro? No, sorry, that's Pokemon. The Westboro Church, or whatever the fuck they're called. Did they get mixed up and think Leonard Nimoy was George Takei, and that's why they were? No, he's not the gay one.
Yeah, no. Nor is he James Doohan or DeForest Kelly, the other dead ones.
No, they probably mixed up
George
their spots.
turning up and saying, "Excuse me, you've got the wrong man. I'm the gay one."
No, because the young Spock is gay, and they probably confused that with
Right.
Oh, I
old
got the wrong
Spock.
Spock.
Mr. Phelps, I am the homosexual.
And then he fences.
Right. Yeah. That is like the lazy pop culture reference to make about George Takei. Yeah.
No, but when he came out of the closet officially, all the news stations just aired that damn clip of him shirtless fencing, laughing.
Of his young, sweaty, shirtless George Takei, as we might say, playing with his sword, if you know what I mean.
Well, to be fair, that's how Brad met me.
Oh, I love him. He's like the queen of gay people.
Oh yeah, like I've unfollowed pretty much everyone on my Facebook newsfeed except for everything that The Onion puts out and George Takei.
He's a legend.
Anyway, so Memechi, I guess, was asking, does he think Nintendo is envious of Rare's DK design, and what?
No, what? It's their design now. What?
Like, okay, they've used it for 20 years. They're not envious of it. I mean, it was a redesign. Like, it wasn't like Rare just decided we're going to redesign Donkey Kong. It was a collaboration with them and Miyamoto, and a compromise was reached between the two designs, and that's the design they've used for 20 years, minus some appearances in other games up until the buyout, like the Game & Watch Gallery series, etc.
And then sometimes they like to stick a giant toothy grin on it as well.
Yeah, Memechi, another 20 or 30 more confusing questions like this, and we're going to stop playing them.
I know you're on thin ice with us.
He's turning into Joe reads the YouTube comments. But I think he provided a lot of the YouTube comments as well.
You know, Joe, when we realized you were going to be on this week with us, I considered reviving Joe reads the YouTube comments.
Have we got some good ones? If we got some good ones, I can.
Yes, but literally a few hours before we sat down to record, huge news broke and was like, well, we got to cut that out. Sorry, YouTube comments.
Oh, that's a shame. It would have been the highlight of the video.
Well,
highlight of the episode.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it will eventually be a video, just with no actual video component.
I think one day this could eventually be animated, like the Ricky Gervais show.
Oh, okay. You want to get right on that?
No.
Actually, you know what? You might be able to take little segments like our Jimmy Fallon, Clara Oswald bit and animate that.
Oh yeah, how they do animated Game Grumps, don't they? Yeah, it could be funny too.
Is that? Oh, that's another website reference that I don't get. Game Grumps is a thing, apparently.
They did a bunch of Let's Plays with Grant Kirkhope. Did you not know about this?
Mm-mm.
Oh, well, they did that.
Oh, okay.
Chad, you knew about it. You just forgot that it was called Game Grumps.
Oh, okay. I know that they did...
We talked about this. Yeah.
All right. I'll take your word for it.
We talked about it off the air. I don't think it's something... We don't like to promote other people's work. But
unless they're Fan Gamer, Playtonic, Left-Handed Game Studios. Yeah.
The Geek Critique.
The Geek Critique.
Yeah. We have our allies, but
yeah, the people who give us T-shirts.
So okay. So last week we had the big Chris Sutherland interview, and we didn't really have time to sit down afterwards and kind of pick apart some of the things he said. Chad.
All the things he said, running through my head, all the things he said.
Oh, that was it wasn't Nina. Who was it? Oh shit. I dated a girl in high school who used to listen to that on like an endless loop.
Was that those tattoo?
She had it
was
turned
that
up so
tattoo?
loud.
It was Tattoo. Yeah.
She had it turned up so loud you couldn't even hear all the things she said. So you just kept sitting there thinking, what were the things she said? What were the things she said?
And that song just kept running through my head, all the things she said.
I just liked it because they kissed in the video.
That's the crowning achievement of my presidency.
All right. So anyway, oh my God. Chris Sutherland sat down with us last week. He was nice enough to do that despite the content of this show. And he gave away a few things in the interview. and I really exciting things. But we had a lot we wanted to ask him, Chad, that we completely ran out of time, and it was really unfortunate that we had to cut some of the things we were going to ask him. Like we were going to go into this whole thing about Ghoulies, how much we loved it, how it was unfairly.
Oh wait, are we really doing a post-mortem about the interview that just played last week?
No, but I want to give some perspective. I want to give some perspective
Why?
that we
just let it live, let it breathe, let it live on its own. It was a
All
thing.
right.
I'm curious. Hyle is going somewhere with this. What do you want to say specifically?
I am confident that he had nowhere to go with this, but let's let it play out.
Is it just like, wait, it was Chris Sutherland? I was calling him Chris Sutherland all the way through. Boy, is my face red.
Renaissance, Joe.
Renaissance, yes. No, I just thought that, we would get to Ghoulies. Somebody on YouTube, this was one of the comments you were going to make, Joe, you're going to read, was somebody was really upset we didn't bring up Killer Instinct. So I guess, the question would have been, so, Mr. Sutherland, what was it like saying Ultra Combo? Describe that experience.
Oh, right.
And,
I'm sorry, I never asked any questions to Mr. Sutherland because I thought anything I would have asked would have just been a rubbish question, and other people would probably have already asked it, and maybe in a better way that would have gotten a better answer. So I didn't really bother because I figured there wasn't really anything unique. All I really wanted was for him to do the banjo voice, and I was a bit disappointed that he didn't.
I'm glad you were disappointed too, Joe. I'm glad we could disappoint the staff as well.
He did announce the Battletoads, though.
He did a little bit of the boy from Project Dream, didn't he?
Edison, yeah.
Edison.
He did Edison. He did
wow,
Daniel
it's a dog.
Carrington.
I better go find that dog.
Yes, thank you to Rock from the DK Vine forums for isolating that and putting it up as a video on YouTube.
Yeah, he worked very quickly at that. That's
really quickly. Yes, I was like, "Do you not have a job, Rock? Do you?"
But honestly, I think that's probably the first time anyone's ever heard, in public anyway, the voice of Edison from Dream. That was pretty awesome.
That was really exciting, and everything we learned about Dream was just amazing. Like, I cannot believe the ambition behind that.
Yeah, about all the like 3D-dimensional trickery they were going to try and do on the SNES.
Yeah, like doing
ACM 3D platformer.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, like a combination of ACM and Mode 7 that was not a racing game.
I'm thinking it would have looked.
Insane.
I'm thinking Matt and I discussed it, and I initially said I suppose it would have looked a bit like Grunty's Revenge, and he said no because like there would have been like actual 3D world. I can't really describe it.
I think it would have from the way he described it, it seemed like it would have been more like the SNES version of Doom.
Oh yeah,
but with a character in front of the camera.
Oh, that would have looked amazing, wouldn't it? I was gonna say it probably would have just looked like the DS Pokemon games.
Oh, where it's kind of like a fixed camera.
Yeah, fixed camera and like the 3D environments with 2D characters.
Oh yeah, but he did talk about like the camera being like swinging around, and that's really where it all started to break apart.
Oh right,
yeah. But additionally, we also learned about Project Ukulele, some details, and we were the first ones. We beat out The Guardian by a couple of hours to have the news that there was going to be a shared Playtonic universe.
Yeah.
And that I mean, you could hear the excitement coming from Chad and I when he said that, and I think he was getting excited being able to share this news with us because he pretty much knows the fan base, knows what we're into, and we're into shared universes.
Yeah. And in fact, what I did like is that he specifically said that's even the term that he would use is a universe. So I think that is more or less codifying the idea of the capital P, capital U, Playtonic universe.
But I also think it shows that Rare was well aware of what they were doing back in the day. Like, a lot of people say, oh, the Donkey Kong universe, that's just something you guys are retroactively piecing together. No, I think starting with Diddy Kong Racing, they were like, okay, this is all the same universe. Let's have a little bit of fun with this.
Yeah, that was quite clearly an intention for them to, do that.
And I think this more or less confirms it.
Oh, yeah, he said that's something that we always loved doing. I mean, he said as much.
Yeah, so get off our back. We were right, people. We were right. DK Vine is always right, except all the times we were wrong.
When have we ever been wrong? I can't think of any time.
Probably from 2002 to 2010.
Yeah, there was a lot of wrong going on.
Fair enough.
Anyway, so once again, Chris Sutherland, Mr. Sutherland, Christopher, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry, but thank you for appearing on our show.
It's all right, baby. Just keep listening. I promise it'll get better.
Anyway, but the fun with Playtonic didn't end with our interview, because as I mentioned previously, they immediately went to The Guardian, and Friday morning they had an article on The Guardian's website. Saturday, they appeared at EGX in London, and they had a big stage presentation with a lot of the Playtonic team.
Yep.
And we learned quite a bit about. Well, actually, we learned not as much as we thought we were going to in typical Rare fashion.
Yeah.
But
it was basically, I think it was more Playtonic's coming out party than anything about Project Ukulele.
So they were fencing shirtless.
Right. Or they were preparing for a cotillion.
Well, like gay tonic.
Oh, I see what you did there. So anyway.
Did you just snap your fingers?
I did. I don't know if the microphone picked it up.
Oh.
Did you just do a sassy
girlfriend? Yeah. Attempted.
Does that exist in England's gay circles, or is that like an American thing?
Well, we're aware of the stereotype, but I don't know.
Okay.
Don't know what sassy black women in the UK would say. It probably. Yes, sister. But they wouldn't do anything with their fingers. They'd probably just like, and they flap their hands around.
The only sassy black English lady I know personally is Ma Soupswill. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So personally that you've actually played as her before.
I've literally controlled her.
Mm-hmm.
I
With
never
a
got
giant
far enough for
wooden
her to be
spoon.
playable.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
That's one of the final moments of the game.
Oh, I found
Yeah, the final chapter in Ghoulies, minus the chapter 21, but the final mission in Ghoulies is Cooper is knocked unconscious and you control Moss Soupswill with her giant wooden spoon.
Yeah. It's really fantastic.
That sounds amazing. I will finish that game one day.
Yeah. But so the two major takeaways there's one major takeaway from Ukulele is that they will be supplementing the scope and ambition of the game with a Kickstarter in May.
Cue the outrage.
Well, no, that's the thing though. That's why I wanted to underscore supplementing, because whether or not the Kickstarter is successful, and we all know it will be, they say since they have done this many times, they have probably collectively a century's worth of experience at making games. They know what it takes. So we know that they've had some investors, and I'm sure that they have already figured out the full scope of the game and what their timeline is. So whether or not the Kickstarter is successful and they get any supplemental funds, it's going to come out. This will just
from what I've seen, Kickstarter's pretty damn reliable, isn't it?
No.
Oh.
Wait, what do you mean reliable?
Well, I mean, like, for a good project that's famous and a lot of people like it, it's going to get...
Oh, yeah. I mean, and this one is definitely on people's radar. So
I'm never going to besmirch the intent behind Kickstarter just because...
No. Kickstarter itself is a great service. I'm just talking about, like, you can't take any project to Kickstarter and expect to get funded.
Right? No. But what I'm saying is that a lot of people there's a certain backlash now against Kickstarters, and
oh really?
Oh yeah. I mean, especially like in places like 4chan and not it just so anyway. So this Kickstarter they kind of hinted at some of the things it might entail, and those were even things as lofty as amiibo support.
Yeah, he sort of threw that one out there. It seemed like I think Gavin admitted as much, that he's an amiibo collector. So if that's something you pride yourself in, can you imagine having an amiibo of a character of yours?
Well, see, I took it less as amiibos from the game and more like existing amiibos can interact with the game. So you can put Donkey and Diddy in the game somehow.
Oh, I read it
that'd
differently.
Be amazing, wouldn't that? Because then we wouldn't even have to like do any trickery to make it DKU. It just plain would be.
A DLC component would. We haven't really run into that yet. So
we'll find a way. If we want it to be DKU, we're going to find a way to make it DKU, aren't we?
That's not really the way it works.
Yeah.
Because Saber Wolf, Jet Force Gemini.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think we both want those DKU, and they're never going to.
They're
Yeah,
not.
and we
It's-
really
it's
don't want
tr-
tipping stars. Mario vs. Donkey or tipping stars be DKU, do we?
Right. Yeah. Well, we still need to do our
it is
spotlight episode
DKU.
on that.
It is DKU though, Joe, because Donkey Kong is in that game.
Yeah,
I
what
think-
he's saying like we take the good with the bad
Oh, yeah, yeah.
in both directions.
Those are the facts of life.
Yes, that's right.
I'm just thinking Mario vs. Donkey Kong tipping stars. It sounds like Mario and DK were sitting in a restaurant, and DK goes, I think we should give him 4. No, we should give him a 5. No, we should definitely just give him 4. He did a good job. That waiter, he did a good job, but I don't really think he deserves the whole 5, banana coins for his job. No, let's give him a 5. Let's be generous, huh? And then they start beating each other up.
But we're the stars, Donkey Kong. We can be tipping stars. That's where it. Yeah.
Joe, I like how you did an accent for Mario. You bothered to do an impression for Mario, but Donkey Kong was just your normal speaking voice. What does that imply about your psyche?
It was a thought bubble.
Oh, yeah, it's a good point, isn't it?
Okay.
No, but actually, tipping stars. I didn't know this until recently. The title is referring to the act of tipping people.
Oh yeah, but it still doesn't.
Oh, it really is. So
prevent
that
me
ruins my joke then.
it doesn't prevent me from calling it Mario versus Donkey Kong just the tip. So
just I'm just picturing the like that shot from Archer with Archer and Cheryl, but it's with Mario and Pauline instead.
Yeah, that was the bok I just did.
I know, yeah, but it put a mental image into my brain that I want to put into everyone else's.
Oh yeah. The foil swan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the paddle, whatever it is, the ping pong paddle.
Oh, you're talking about when they're doing the flashbacks.
Yes, yeah,
That was for the pilot, wasn't it?
yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I think that scene might have been the one where when they brought it back around to just the tip, I was like, okay, I like this show a lot. So, ukulele.
ukulele. So
You can lay me anytime.
yeah.
Sorry, I'll go home now.
No, that's all right. No, that's your high watermark. Grant Kirkhope, who is
Grant. I like how you just call him Grant.
Yeah. We're really casual. He is
Mr.
1/3 of the musical geniuses working on this game, along with David Wise and Steve Burke. And Grant has said on Twitter that he's already submitting music for the game, so it's well underway.
Grant is a workhorse. Like he can turn a piece of music around in no time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of amazed because we kind of witnessed that a little firsthand with Lobo.
Yeah.
Have we
And,
ever had, Grant and David doing music in the same game before?
No, they've only ever. The only thing I can think of them crossing over would be
Overclocked remix.
Oh yeah, exactly that.
Yeah, they did Donkey Kong.
Did a song together.
Reskewed.
Reskewed, yeah.
Along with Robin Beanland.
In that case, shouldn't this logically be the best soundtrack ever? Have we got both Grant and David? The first time ever.
It's very likely. And then, of course, Grant has covered David Wise music twice.
Donkey Kong Land 2.
Yes, and
Donkey
of course,
Kong
DK
64. Yeah.
That's right. So yeah, I am really pumped for Project Ukulele. We did see a couple screenshots of it, and it looks gorgeous. I mean, what more can we really say at this point?
Yeah, we really only have a vague art direction style, and to look at kind of what the Steve Mails worlds are going to look like. It's Mails who does the environmental design, right?
I honestly don't remember, and I feel like if I really draw this out, it's going to give you time to look it up so we can confirm. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to keep talking until you have that chance.
You know what, though? Now that I think about it, I think it was Stephen Hurst who does the environmental artwork.
Oh.
Yeah, just drawing on my memory, Steve Mails does character design.
You know what? I think you're right.
Okay.
I think I can confirm that in my own memory banks.
That's great. I'm glad that we can take enough time to let our memories find these answers for us.
Well, it gets hard as you get older, you
really
approach 30 and all of a sudden you can't remember which Steve did what in a rare game. It's
lot of Steves and a lot of Chris's at Rare.
Yeah, it's like I swear I've got a pizza around this room somewhere. If I just sit and think about it, and certainly not order one, but I just sit around thinking about where my pizza could be, I'm sure in half an hour it should turn up. And if it takes more than half an hour, then that pizza won't cost me anything either. So that's good.
Joe is right now. Joe is Googling where is the pizza in my room.
I don't think that was the way it
That's
works.
not how
Joe.
Google works, Joe.
You just print one out.
But no, the art direction looks great. It looks like a cross between Banjo, Donkey Kong, and its own unique thing. It has that certain aesthetic, and it's also got the floating avatar rock islands. So there's that.
Yeah. That's
They
I don't want to jump into this trying to discuss the logistics of the world, but yeah, I mean, I know in Avatar they said it was some kind of anti-gravity metal that
Unobtainium.
No, unobtainium. Was it unobtainium that was also doing the gravity shit, or was that a separate thing?
I'm pretty sure unobtainium was doing everything that
Is that
the
just
plot
the word
deemed necessary.
the word for explaining everything.
Yeah,
just like
megaphonium.
Chest of time.
Right.
Hey, don't knock the chest of time, Joe. That's serious.
Anyway, I was going to say, they eventually released.
I'll smack you with my prosthetic golfing fingers. I swear to God.
They eventually released these two gorgeous backgrounds in desktop wallpaper quality, 1080p. I hope everyone has saved and used them as I have.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
I have on my work computer.
Yeah. Oh, I've got a whole folder full of wallpapers that I shuffle through. And
nice.
They're part of them. Yeah. I have to say, what I really like about the jungle one with the floating islands is that the palm trees, they still look like they're made of bouncy rubber, just like in 1994.
Right. Well, have you actually seen a real palm frond sort of does have that waxy sheen to it. They do look artificial.
Oh yeah. Well, I just mean that in terms of the art style. I just like the way it looks. It's good.
Oh yeah.
Video game cartoony. You can see
cartoony while still retaining a 1 foot in realism. I was
going to say this is the direction that cartoony video games have had to take. As the technology gets better, they kind of have to keep the graphics have to keep getting better, to make it worth using all that.
But they haven't done that. They haven't done that though. You look at any cartoon graphics, and they've actually taken a step back from Rare at its peak.
Oh yeah,
everything except Mario Kart 8. I would agree with
Mario
you.
Kart 8. I would agree, and that's what I actually thought graphics would look like for games like that. And when I thought back in, let's say, 1995 on the cups of the N64, I thought, oh man, 10, 15 years from now, graphics are going to look so realistic. Like Mario's world is going to look so real.
Yeah,
and
I just personally really like that when cartoony graphics make use of the technology.
Yeah.
It's like it's hard to explain, but it's kind of something brand new that we've never been able to see before because video game consoles and their rendering power and all that, and CGI is still in a state of relative infancy in terms of art forms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I also think it's a little smart of them to go with a slightly more stylized take on it, given the fact they are a small team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't expect to do like photorealistic shaders and AI, the AI of fish that we all enjoyed from the Call of Duty trailer.
At least they didn't do like bloody 8-bit pixel graphics again.
Yeah, although there's a place for that as well. But
yeah.
I mean, I think it's I hate the backlash against everything that starts to become in vogue. It's you give a style, especially in video game culture is the absolute worst for this. Like if there's something that's popular for about a year and a half, everyone starts to fucking hate it, and then you go 5.
Well, how do you explain Call of Duty then?
That's a fair point. Everyone, and then you go, 5-6 years down the road, or sometimes up to a decade, and it's cyclical. And we're seeing the same thing with 3D platformers. Can't people just fucking understand that there is a market and there is an audience for everything, and stop just fucking hating on something because it's popular?
Oh shit!
Well,
sorry,
it seems
I
like
feel
video
bad.
game culture.
It was only a light-hearted, gag about
No! I'm not
saying...
calling you out, Joe. That just sent me on a tangential rant.
Oh, good.
It just seems like it seems like video game culture is just it's so determined to be right. Like I like this. You
Stop
I don't
having
like
opinions
this. This
that
is
are
the way it
different
is.
from mine.
Right. That's the thing. It's not that people want to be right. It's that they are tribal. And I guess we're an embodiment of that at DK Vine, although I feel like we've taken a much more inclusive spirit since Returns came around. But
we're wearing the lampshade, though. You know,
right?
We're fully aware of it,
of how stupidly insular this podcast is by its very existence.
And just like many African tribes, we enforce circumcision on all of our members.
Right.
It's easier to clean that way.
The Americans, anyway. But
I'll tell you what, it is easier to clean. Quite frankly, sometimes I pull it back. It's like, Jesus Christ! It's like a big lump of Stilton cheese down there.
Oh Jesus!
Sorry, I just.
Joe, that is a visual and a half.
I'm not going to eat anymore. Is that what the mud refers to in your name?
It's more of a. He really should be referred to as Joe Thick Paste.
Oh yeah, maybe want some of Joe's mud.
Jesus. Oh. So that's Ukulele Kickstarter in May. They're already well on their way.
Yeah, it's in May. We should point out it's in May.
I did point it out when I said it earlier.
I know, but I feel like after discussing Joe's underbits,
let's make them up.
People may have lost sight of when this Kickstarter is.
This is the kind of content we didn't have when Chris Sutherland was on the show.
To be fair, I think it's Joe.
To be fair, I mean, he is British. He presumably isn't circumcised, so you could have asked him about his foreskin.
Why are you talking about Chris Sutherland's knob right now? What is wrong with you?
It's Joe who's the bad influence, Chad.
It's a good thing you didn't have me on the show last week.
All along it's been
Joe. Shall we move on to the other thing that happened the evening that Rare was at, or that, sorry.
Wait.
a little slip. The evening that Playtonic was at EGX.
Yeah, okay, because this is kind of crazy because as the day wound down here in the States, I mean, it was already, like, I think past midnight in the UK at this point.
Yeah, they were letting it all hang out after midnight over there.
Working on their night moves.
That's right.
Yeah, it was like, what, 8 something here, and on the East Coast at least.
Yep.
And yeah, it was just, we were kind of still on this Playtonic high. Chad and I were exhausted after the week we've had. You know, it actually takes a lot out of you preparing an interview with one of your childhood idols. But so we were like, oh man, we got a lot of cool news today. This has been a huge day. And then more news broke, and it kind of tore the internet in half very briefly.
In a very negative, well, sort of along the lines of the aforementioned tribal direction. Just
yeah, and it's because people didn't wait for all the news to leak out. They jumped to conclusions, and they made asses out of themselves.
Yeah. Although,
which is appropriate, because I was going to say this broke the internet, just like Kim Kardashian's ass was supposed to.
Well, so what it was, there's basically a media conference every year in Austin called South by Southwest.
Did you ever go to that when you lived in Austin?
Yes, actually. We went to we got to hear Sean Lennon play. And there was a presentation by Joseph Gordon-Levitt that we went to.
Good Lord, this just sounds like an Austin, Texas kind of event.
And here's the crazy part: Sean Lennon was in the same presentation as Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I just described one event. But yeah, I did go to South by when the year that we lived in Austin. But it's also started incorporating video games in the last handful of years. It's essentially Austin's answer to San Diego Comic-Con. It's completely abandoned its original purpose, which was to be kind of an indie music sort of show, much like Comic-Con was a comic book show, and now it's just all pop culture.
I was gonna say,
or
yeah,
like
so whenever you look up,
was a music network.
Whenever you look up someone who works on like a TV show or a cartoon or something with a big fan base on Wikipedia, the picture is always them in front of some Comic-Con signs. And it's like, presumably at a panel at a Comic-Con. It's none of these people have anything to do with comics.
Right.
It's music television all over again.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just the point I made, but you talked over me. I made the exact same point. I said MTV.
Oh, sorry.
Well, anyway, at this conference, there was they have a video game awards show now, apparently, at South by Southwest. Because
we need to divide the fans even more.
Yeah.
I tell you what we really need right now. We really need gamers to all be angry and hate each other.
Yeah. We need to make declarative statements about the entirely subjective quality of things people are passionate about. That's what's going to bring us all together. No, but they had a gaming award show, and one of the things was that there was a Kinect based.
It wasn't Kinect.
It was not.
It was not. It looked like Kinect.
Okay,
but
well, it was a crowd based motion active sort of interactive presentation starring Banjo and Kazooie, which had the entire. It was basically the two of them on rails flying into the Z-axis and in what looked like a southwestern scene. And the whole audience had to kind of tilt their bodies with their arms out to direct Banjo and Kazooie. And I guess the software would take the average angle of everyone that it could see and apply that to the characters in the game.
And they had to avoid obstacles like floating TNT barrels on balloons.
And what looked like pieces of the Triforce.
Yeah.
I really don't know what to make of this. Like, Banjo phonect. I assume that's a Hylism.
Yes, that's what I wrote in our document here. Banjo phonect.
Because that would be like 4.
Right. And so, of course, when news of this broke, the at least our circles of the internet blew up, and it reignited that fire that, we always are optimistic it's more or less gone out, but the absolute hatred of Rare in its current state.
No. I mean, in DK Vine, at least, on the forum and whatnot, there's never any hatred of Rare. It's always
there. Don't say never. I mean, there occasionally is, but those are the very marginalized. It's not even a vocal minority. They're marginalized.
It's anger towards Microsoft, but even then, it's you don't have all your facts. We're gonna hate everything that's put out by Rare or in the Rare brand under Microsoft, because
Twitter and Facebook were absolutely miserable when this news first broke. And basically, well, apart from the fact that it wasn't even Rare, it was a company called Audience Entertainment that does exactly this sort of thing for a living, and Rare just provided the assets. Aside from that fact, even if Rare had developed this, it was a demo for a side attraction at a game show that maybe a couple hundred people actually participated in. It was not a wide release. It's not indicative of any direction that Rare's going in right now. And we got to see Banjo and Kazooie again.
But why
I think
they use Banjo and Kazooie for this?
You think they're trying to perhaps stoke the embers of memory in the public consciousness, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah, I do too.
And I think that's what people are missing. People are getting so outraged. Oh, look, how dare they? How dare they? When this is ultimately good news, right?
Yeah. I don't see how this could be anything but good news. It is a reemergence of Banjo and Kazooie, the likes of which we have not seen since Nuts and Bolts, and it didn't take development resources away from Rare.
Granted, it is their Nuts and Bolts designs, and people are getting angry about that. You know what? Just calm down.
Oh, good Lord.
Like, is this the way we were like 2002 to 2010? Because, good God, I see why people hated us.
Well, you say us. Hyle and I were in a less active role, but
we were there for some of those years.
Yeah, especially around what was it, Brawl? Yeah.
No, 2004. I remember they announced the Nintendo DS, and we immediately called it the Nintendo diaper shit because we were just so filled with venom at that point.
Wow, that's really creative, actually.
That's pretty venomous.
Is that what he's the master of?
It was a toxic time, and I look at. We've kind of grown up a little bit. We're still kids at heart, but we kind of look at this stuff and we're like, hey, it's great that they're using Banjo-Kazooie. This is probably good news for the future of the franchise.
Dude, I fucking tweeted on the DK Vine account that it was exciting because I was trying to temper some of this.
You were actually the one who did the Facebook post for it too.
Yeah.
And
I said it was nice to see these googly-eyed weirdos, and I got responses from people saying, well, they're not as googly-eyed as they used to be.
In my day, them eyes were twice as googly.
Yeah, exactly. Like, are we worrying about the GQ, the Google quotient of the eyes on these characters?
I really hope
the googly eyes in Nuts and Bolts are rubbish.
I really hope there's a magazine that's like in the Rare archipelago, and it's called GQ, and it's Google quotient.
Yeah, it's
Googly
just
quotient.
It's a lot of sharply dressed cans of Guff beans.
Well, I remember
Oh.
that, Nuts and Bolts did have like these kind of robotic versions of the vegetables from Spiral Mountain, Topper,
Yeah.
Kohlrubble, and Ball, and they just completely messed up why those designs were charming. Like it was just like a robotic carrot, and the googly eyes were kind of just these terrified, staring eyes, separate, not like on top of its head, right next to each other, but like separate, like realistically spaced apart.
I'm not.
on face.
Look, I'm not saying that Nuts and Bolts is exempt from criticism over its art style. I'm just saying,
no.
why are we focusing on that right now?
Yeah, it's true.
You know,
I just wanted
honestly,
to say that the Nuts and Bolts did have some really bad googly eyes in it. It's just like you look at these things, it's you could imagine it going, "Kill me."
yeah. Well, honestly, let's be frank. You could look at just about any character that Rare ever designed and think of them in the real world, they would be asking for death.
Like Logo, for instance.
Yeah, any cartoon character in general would be like
it's
that.
true, yeah.
But honestly, I mean, the fans who get up in arms about this, I honestly don't think they would be happy with any news except Nintendo's bought Rare back or Microsoft has filed for bankruptcy. It's gotten to that point where nothing can satisfy them. They are what we were towards Nintendo during the buyout years. It's just absurd.
It's really unfortunate. And
we speak from experience, so we can tell you you're being absurd. Like we were right there with you once upon a time.
I think honestly, I think you're slightly mischaracterizing what we were never wanting Nintendo to go out of business, were we?
I think at our worst, we were like, "Oh, it'd be great if Microsoft could buy Nintendo."
Wow.
Yeah, those were the days.
Oh, how the tables turn.
I've got no negative feelings towards this Kinect thing. I'm just confused as to why they use Banjo-Kazooie for it. I know you guys said they're trying to create nostalgia for Banjo-Kazooie and make people think, I remember those characters. But even so, I still kind of, I still don't think they would think that though. I think they would use someone like not more recognizable, but someone maybe more relevant to Microsoft.
No. That's what we're saying. It's not about nostalgia. It's about reestablishing the brand.
Joe, there has been this cultural shift at Microsoft and Xbox.
Yeah.
And Phil Spencer is kind of championing this revival of Rare.
Yeah.
And
it's kind of
we're seeing it.
They're kind of like EA Games then, who kind of went, we should stop being dicks.
Oh, has EA done that? Because because Janelle just bought Sims 4 and she's told me all about their like $40 expansion packs that are lined up throughout the next 2 years of release schedule.
Oh shit, I haven't heard about that. Oh well, fuck them. They were doing all right when Sims 4 first came out, but if that's, what's happening, fuck.
Well, I remember her first comment when she got Sims 4 was, it's good, but there's just not a lot to do. It was like, okay, here we go. Yeah, thanks, EA.
I was going to give them the benefit of the doubt, because I remember with Sims 3, they literally took a Sims 2 expansion, cut it in half, and released it as 2 separate expansions. So is Sims 4 going to be like all the fucking 50 expansions with all the content of Sims 2 University or something?
I can't speak to I have no familiarity with it myself, but I do know that it's only recently been released, and already the DLC and expansion schedule is way out the door.
Ah, shit. I'm going to have to go look that up then. I'll post an angry comment about it on DK on the forum. Then I'm really annoyed because I thought they were turning their act around. Like they said there are no swimming pools in this game, and fans went, "Oh, we want swimming pools." So they patched it into the game for free.
But Joe, you forget money.
Yeah, I know that, but I feel like with Sims 3, they would have put adverts for swimming pools in the game and said, "You want this? You got to buy it with real money." Because that's where I drew the line with Sims 3 was when items started appearing in the furniture catalog that you couldn't actually buy unless you bought it with real money. But it was still being advertised to you. As long as the game itself sits there and doesn't say, "Hey, buy more of this game," then I don't really have any complaints. But
I don't know if it's advertising. I think it's advertising by omission. It's like these are features that you're used to having. We're going to not support them and then make you pay for them later. Yeah,
it's frustrating as hell because sometimes they can reintroduce stuff and bring a new twist on it. Like Sims 3 was starting to look okay when it had generations and it was stuff like here's stuff for every age group, kids, adults, old people to do to make them more distinct from each other. And then eventually it just became regurgitated Sims 2 content, which they hadn't changed at all. They were just selling it back to us. So,
Well, I don't know. Maybe Ubisoft has taken the crown for most hated, but
Ubisoft.
At any rate.
What have they done? Was Rayman Legends
Oh.
that bad?
Oh, no. You didn't hear about the Assassin's Creed thing?
Oh, I guess not.
Assassin's Creed Unity? Oh, boy.
Oh.
Okay, so I read an article about this. I haven't played the game myself, so, take it for what it's worth. But
Yeah.
what I read was that when they sent out release copy like review copies for Assassin's Creed Unity, they completely obstructed this microtransactions marketplace within the game, and only activated and exposed it on launch day. So none of the reviewers had any idea that this was even a core mechanic to the game.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like a great way of keeping a spoiler like unrevealed. But for the sounds of things, they've used that for evil.
Yeah. It's almost as if they thought reviewers might not take too kindly to that being in the title.
So the next time you complain about a possible Banjo-Kazooie Connect game, just remember it could be worse.
Yeah. Just remember, there's some real atrocities going on in the gaming industry. Or hell, just anytime
Atrocities.
anytime you think, oh, this video game looks a bit shit, just think of fucking E.T. for the Atari 2600. How about that?
Or think about Hitler.
Oh, actually, Saf on the forum is already thinking about Hitler.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh.
I'm sure he is. Probably thinking, this is all Hitler's fault. No, I'm not going to go any further. I think I should just leave it at that.
I do love being compared to Hitler.
Yeah.
He was a sharp dresser and a good public speaker
And that mustache.
and a best-selling author. You know what?
That's true. Hitler actually was a best-selling author. People forget this. I can't imagine why. That's one of his lesser things that people remember.
You take the good, you take the bad.
Facts of life.
Facts of life. So, speaking of The Sims, that's a game where you create and you kind of play God.
Well done,
wow.
sir.
Thank you. I was waiting for this segue, and we completely missed it by 5 minutes. But
Yeah, you were waiting for the segue, and then George Bush fell over.
That's right. So anyway,
Did Bill Clinton trip
Project
him up?
Spark.
Oh, we're talking about that now.
Yeah, let's talk about Bill Clinton.
Project Spark. So, you remember last E3, we had the big Microsoft episode, and we actually had a lot to talk about because Conker made an appearance at the end of the Project Spark trailer, and it was completely unexpected, completely surprised. We at DK Vine were about the only people who were excited about it. Everybody else was calling for the death of Microsoft and Rare. But it was kind of really unexpected, and Chris Seaver was actually voicing Conker.
Right. And then we heard absolutely nothing. It was radio silence.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
To the extent that I thought that they dropped Conker from it entirely.
Oh, yeah. I was looking at our games page just the other night, and I saw Project Spark, and I was like, it's almost about time we remove that. Am I right?
Yeah.
And, we were actually preparing this episode today, and we were going to go into a whole discussion about Nintendo's big announcements this week, and another thing that has the internet in an uproar, which I think we'll have to devote some serious time to. And then news broke that made us have to push that discussion back till next week.
Should we just come out with like a sister show that's just called Please Understand with Hyle and Chad? So we can talk about everything that Nintendo is doing?
At this point, with Rare and ex-Rare staffers becoming so prominent lately, it's almost like, we're at least going to have to turn the show into twice a week.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Let's get advertisers first, and then maybe expand.
Right. Well, it would be like the Kongversation, red and blue or something. We'll get like
that would be good.
Joe. And,
sorry.
We'll get Joe and Matt to host one version. We'll host the other version. Chad.
Okay.
I like that idea, or having us all rotate and just various different staffers on various different episodes. Because I did think maybe it's time we all kind of equalized our role. Well, I know you two are the head honchos, but the rest of us.
All right, This all sounds very exciting and ambitious, but I would like to point out that the staff chat has never been more exhausted than it has been in the last few days. We are way too ambitious for our own good. Let me shut this down right now.
So 3 times a week. Oh my God, we could do
Wrong
current
direction.
rare
Wrong direction.
current rare news, current Nintendo news, and a spotlight episode.
Hey, I'm an art student. I'm never busy. I'm just usually emotionally wound up about something completely trivial. I'm always free to be on the show if you want me.
Emotional wind-ups take time, though.
Well, that's all right. I'll just take him out on the show. You just have to listen to me go, oh, it'll be fine.
Perfect.
All right, so Project Spark, guys. Mm-hmm. All right, so this afternoon, a new trailer launched for Project Spark. Now, Project Spark has been out since October.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, this is some really unexpected news. April 23rd, the Conquer content for Project Spark is going to drop for the Xbox One and the PC, Windows 8.1. Mm-hmm. All right. And it's actually going to be a true, really, really, really real sequel to Bad Fur Day.
Yeah. This is actually we kind of weren't really sure, since Conquer is such a cutscene oriented and narratively driven game. It was unclear how it would fit into this Project Spark platform, and I think
the way I saw it, the way it was kind of pitched last E3 was, you're going to be able to have Conquer, and Chris Seaver has voiced some voice clips for him, and you can make a game for him. And that was about it. Like, they didn't really go into details. They didn't even seem like they were sure themselves what was going to happen.
Oh yeah, that's right. We talked about how basically he would record all the words in the dictionary, so it'd be like, "Welcome to my game."
Yeah. So, and I think expectations, we were excited about it, but expectations were also kind of low because really, how can you have a Conquer game without any Conquer elements? It would just be Conquer in a strange land.
And I'm going to be honest, I've said in the past that Conquer's Bad Fur Day, the gameplay of it is not the highlight of Conquer's Bad Fur Day. It is almost entirely the comedy and the cutscenes. The gameplay is just probably one of Rare's biggest missteps, and
it's pretty atrocious.
It's awful.
When you were running around,
it is what it is.
When you're so Joe and I were saying things, and you said absolutely nothing. But thank you for contributing.
I'm saying it. I mean, you guys are saying it's awful. It's
yes,
you're
right, Hyle.
It's not the point of the game.
Literally is what it is.
Stylized.
The game's not supposed to be a good. That sounds terrible. The game's not supposed to have particularly good gameplay because it's the whole point of the game is the jokes and the parody and the subversive nature of it. Yeah,
and that's fine because I think the game embraces that. Yeah. It gets really frustrating in portions like the underwater sections, or like when you have to throw knives at those electric cables when the water's rising.
All the time, I have to force myself to turn the Nintendo 64 back on and finish whatever I was doing because I just angrily rage quit from it.
Yeah, but it's.
I didn't have that much difficulty with it. What?
You go back and play it again.
Yeah, play it.
All right.
I think the fog of time might have tinted your glasses a bit. They're now.
I'm wearing
colored.
contacts, but okay.
But anyway, yeah. It was never really gameplay driven at all.
No.
And it seems like Project Spark is about giving people the tools to make their own gameplay experiences.
Yeah.
And story would probably be ancillary to that.
I can't really see it unless it's some kind of level editor that's about making your own stories, which could be quite interesting. The problem is that
well, Joe, you're still speaking in hypotheticals. We have concrete information.
well, so we do know that along with what we're about to talk about, the update to Project Spark on April 23rd to the base experience will be essentially like an assets pack. And they've got tons of Bad Fur Day and Live and Reloaded, probably mostly Live and Reloaded because of the fidelity assets.
Well, they're promoting it from Bad Fur Day, and the trailer showed both an N64 Teddy with a Live and Reloaded Teddy side by side.
That's right. And Conker himself is sort of a stylized version of the Bad Fur Day Conker. So
But
so yeah, it
instead
seems
of
like
fur, his body seems to be comprised of some kind of wrinkled clay.
Yeah.
I'm not really keen on the way they've done that. He just looks really wrinkled and
Well,
rumpled.
it's the Project Spark engine. It's like, it's running on this engine, and honestly, I think it looks fine for what it is. It's Conker. It's recognizably Conker, and
true.
I think it looks good.
Yeah,
I mean,
you have to know that, like, Joe, did you ever make games on like Multimedia Fusion or the Games Factory?
No.
Okay, well, like those were basically an older version of what Project Spark is,
Mhm.
but because they were not only running the games that you make, but they were running all the processes that allow you to make games with a GUI. It's much more processor intensive.
Oh, I see. So it has to be simplified then.
Yeah, so I'm imagining that that even the X-Bone is probably not powerful enough to run like full-on furry shenanigans.
Oh, yeah. No, I used sorry.
in this game.
Oh yeah, fair
right.
enough.
Yeah.
Obviously, it can handle furry shenanigans outside of Project Spark.
Right.
Yeah, I used Tomb Raider level editor, which went through the trouble of rendering everything every time you wanted to test, which was annoying, especially because the placeholder graphics were a bit nightmarish. As you were building your level, and as you placed Lara, she was like kind of a human shape, but just made out of like a piece of her leg, like in 16 different parts. So her head was a thigh, her neck was a thigh, her bottom was a thigh. It was quite. The first time I saw it, I think I screamed at this leg Lara that was meant to symbolize her. But then when you played the game, she turned into normal Lara Croft. But
it's funny. That's not the body part I would have thought to represent Lara Croft.
I know if they were going to do it like that, you'd think they'd pick a different one. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, her elbow, obviously.
Oh yeah.
I love me some elbow. I'd rate her too.
Okay.
So
Okay.
all right. So anyway, yeah. So we have this pack you were talking about, Chad. It's called the Champion and Creation Pack, which I have no idea why the fuck it's called that.
Right.
But it has over 300 assets from Bad Fur Day and Live and Reloaded. And yeah, you can. This is basically what we were promised last E3.
Oh my God! Something just clicked. Wasn't Connect Sports Rivals? Didn't they have champions? Wasn't that what it was based on? Do you think that there's a like the champions from Connect Sports Rivals would be in this champion pack, or is that just a coincidence?
I think it's just a coincidence.
Okay.
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, you can create your own Conker game in Project Spark. Okay, that's all well and good. That's pretty much what we expect.
Right.
But with the added information that we're gonna have assets from the two Conker games that aren't Pocket Tales. So,
I guess this means
Name the worst ones.
yeah.
if Chris Seavor ends up out of work, like living off of government benefits and sitting on his sofa every night eating crisps, he could just keep making Conker's Bad Fur Days with Project Spark. He can make as many Conker games as he wants.
I guess that's a happy ending.
We can finally see what he had planned for the series.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you mentioned though that he did have a canonical sequel planned for the series, and well, here's the big surprise: we're getting a canonical sequel with Project Spark.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's going to be called. It's going to be episodic.
Episodic serialized, the first serialized Donkey Kong universe experience.
That's true, and this is going to be called Conker's Big Reunion Episode 1, and it comes out the same day as the Champion. What was it? Champion and Creation Pack.
Yeah.
On April 23rd. So since it's episodic, it remains to be seen like how extensive this is, and
Yeah, there's actually going to be an airplane-based episodic Banjo series, but it never made it past the pilot.
oh boy.
I tell you what, I'd like to see.
boy.
It's never going to happen in a million years, but I would love it so much if they could put assets from Conker's Pocket Tales in the game.
It's never going to happen.
it'd be
because
great.
we're the only people who care.
But
Joe,
if we just bombard them with email.
Look at the YouTube views for our TED videos. We are the only people who care about Pocket.
All right, Joe. I think a more productive effort would
I just
be
want to see the evil acorn again. Wouldn't it be brilliant?
Oh, of course it would be brilliant. Honestly, I was still when Conker's Bad Fur Day was announced, I was holding out hope that when you reach the end of the game, Evil Acorn would run out and say, blah ha ha, darn and blast, you found me, but I'm the bad guy behind this whole adventure, and then he would promptly get squashed by the actual end boss.
That would have been.
Yeah.
That would have worked. Do you know what? That would have worked really well as well because it's set in space, isn't it? And he was sent into space, so that would have been perfect.
Oh my God, you're right. Yeah, last time we saw Evil Acorn, he was orbiting the Earth.
I like to think he landed in Canada.
No, he landed in a bush next to Wizpig.
He's the one who pushed him out in front of that bus. He really is evil. No, but I oh shit, what are we even talking about?
Conker's Big Reunion.
Conker's Big Reunion.
Oh yeah. The fact that there's never ever going to be assets from Conker's Pocket Tales in this game.
I would love it.
Okay, but let's talk about this actual serialized game because it has a storyline too.
Well, at least a premise. We don't know much more than that, but
It's a premise is more than we thought we had, so let's embrace it.
Yeah, so Conker, it does take place 10 years after, and maybe that explains why his voice sounds a little wonkier than normal, but
well,
he quit smoking.
They described it as.
Well, no, it's like he's doing the opposite of smoking. The voice isn't quite as raspy as it used to be.
That's what I mean. He quit smoking.
Here's the thing.
Oh, he quit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, here's the thing, though. They say it takes place 10 years after Bad Fur Day, which would place this game in 2011.
Oh, here we go.
But do they mean 10 years after Live and Reloaded? Because that would place it in the present day. So
now, Live and Reloaded was a retelling, so this has to be 2011.
Although we have explained that that's Conker reminiscing about the events from 4 years previous.
I'm totally on board with this 10 years later thing, and I can't wait to explain any logical problems that come up from things that have been invented since 2011 being in the game, which I hope there are.
Yeah. Well, so are you saying that the epilogue to the game, where Conker is whiskey, space ice, no ice, that whole bit, the version of that was in Live and Reloaded was actually in 2005.
I don't remember if he says that he's remembering from yesterday in Live and Reloaded, because in Bad Fur Day he says he firmly establishes his recollections are from yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Oh well, in the opening cinema. But
yeah,
I'm talking about the ending cinema. I'm saying it wasn't a framing device so much as just it was the end of the bookend only that would have taken place.
Right.
Is that ending different in Live and Reloaded then?
No, I don't remember whether it's different or not. I'm just saying that if we're saying that Live and Reloaded was yet another recollection of these events, then perhaps that time when Conker was remembering them was another night of drinking whiskey at the bar where he's just lamenting these events. I
imagine that's all Conker did for 10 years is just drink and remember the time he got his girlfriend killed.
Right.
Anyway,
so
yeah,
this should be a cheerful game.
Right. Well, if we had our way, Chad, it would be a lot darker. It would be like the reverse of Bad Fur Day. It would start off dark and get lighter
I have to say that
by the end
this
of it.
does sound like a retread of Nuts and Bolts intro, where it's been 8 years since Banjo-Tooie and Banjo and Kazooie have grown fat, and Grunty's head has spent that entire time bouncing back to Spiral
and
Mountain.
that's brilliant, though. I think that was my favorite thing about.
Yeah. That's what's great about these rare properties is they're actually allowed to age in real time, and generally, not a lot of great things have happened in that period. All of the rare characters are pretty much down and out. It's Banjo-Kazooie got fat, Conker fell into alcoholic depression, Bumper went to jail for masturbating in public.
That's true.
I knew that
is true.
Yeah. That is canonically true.
Yeah.
The jail part, not necessarily the masturbation.
And even, due
we
to our
all
own
know it's
fan wank,
masturbation.
we've said that, there was the eruption of the volcano on Donkey Kong Island, which destroyed Gorilla Glacier, but that's just our own, explanation for why the island looks different.
Right.
Well, there was a volcano. It was in the same location as Gorilla Glacier. It exploded. There's no more Gorilla Glacier. I don't see why that's a
There's
thing.
no more
Prosthetic
face.
golfing figures, Joe. Holograms.
There's no more Donkey Kong face on the island either.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the Kongs don't seem to be any less happy for that tragedy. Although that said, it could have killed Swanky, Chunky, and Tiny for all we know.
Maybe that is why they're much more happier.
Oh, so anyway, this storyline is 10 years after Bad Fur Day. You perceive that right now however you wish, whatever year that may be. The game is Conker trying to get back into shape for a reunion at the Cock and Plucker with his friends from that Bad Fur Day. So, considering he didn't really have any friends from that Bad Fur Day,
I think they made all the characters from the game who he was surrounded by in his throne room, and he hated them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I'm not really sure why Conker would be eager to reunite with these people.
Maybe it's all those.
It's from the worst day of his life. Yeah, let's.
I was thinking like the other day I was thinking about the intro cinema to Conker's Bad Fur Day and how he's. Like, even the people that seem to be his friends in the pub, like, he's so unconcerned with their lives that he's like, I don't know, they're going to fight some war somewhere. There is a war going on that all your friends have been either enlisted or conscripted into duty to fight, and you really don't even really know what's going on. And
you're not even keeping up with the news that you're even aware that the people you're drinking with are dressed in fatigues.
Right. These are Conker's good friends.
Yeah,
it just made me sad as well. With I thought Rodent was his friend, but no, he's apparently one of the assholes as well. Maybe Conker's lashing out because he's just lost his girlfriend.
Yeah, I think Conker actually has a little bit of affection for Rodent, and that's apparent in the actual game itself. It is until the end where he just kind of like, I don't care.
He's just a depressed husk at the end, and it's more a reflection on how much he. It doesn't seem like he ever really cared for Barry or vice versa, but I think it's the kind of relationship where I think wanted
they care for
a relationship.
I think they care for each other in Pocket. I think they care for each. In Pocket Tales, I think they generally cared for each other. I think.
Oh, right.
They grew. They both became kind of terrible people in that relationship. They brought out the worst in each other.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So anyway,
I like that
yet another cheerful segue.
I like that because we've all kind of seen relationships like that there somewhere, haven't we? We've all had friends like that. And we're just like, get the hell out of there, you idiot.
Yeah. And in this case, getting the hell out of there was being gunned down by a mobster weasel
in space.
In space, yes.
I think that would have been more pleasant with how some of my mates' relationships turned out.
You need to start giving automatic weapons to ferrets and then see what happens.
But yeah, the Cock and Plucker is even in this trailer they released, which is on the YouTubes right now.
It drives me crazy that and it shouldn't, because we are obviously way more familiar with these games than the larger gaming community, who has sort of a passing familiarity. But a lot of the articles that were written this afternoon were talking about how this game is going to have innuendo. If you look closely in the trailer, they even snuck in a pub called the Cock and Plucker. Like, bitch, that was the first thing you saw in the opening to the first game.
And the last thing you saw.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. Cock and Plucker, as in like
that was where the file you could select the file. That's where that took place. Mm-hmm. The whole thing was in the Cock and
exactly.
Plucker.
That's what I'm saying. Like, as soon as he saw the Nintendo logo in half, that's what you see.
Yeah. I thought you meant like when the game actually starts, it has Conker exiting the Cock and Plucker.
What kind of game is this?
But yeah, I mean, obviously people aren't that well. Like, we live and breathe this shit every day of our lives. So it's it's just common knowledge to us. It would be like, who's the vice president, the Cock and Plucker?
I have always wondered, even since Bad Fur Day, why is the Cock and Plucker logo have a sheep on it?
Oh, yeah.
Joe, can you explain that to us?
No, I cannot, because a cock is not a sheep. If it were a Welsh pub...
I love that you had to explain that part to us. There are many kinds of farm animals.
If it were a Welsh pub, then I guess the plucker could well be plucking his cock to a very sexy sheep, because as we all know, those Welshmen love their sheep, and they love having bestiality with said sheep. So my theory is that it's a Welsh pub.
I'm sorry. I'm now thinking about a joke that Chad and I have fallen in love with for Lobo Destroyo.
Yeah,
and
no,
I'm not gonna divulge
I know
here.
what you're referring to, and let's not.
Oh, we don't even know if it's gonna get in the game. I think it's gonna be an uphill struggle to convince.
I think we will fight tooth and nail for that particular running gag, but let's not get into it.
I'm excited.
Okay.
But anyway, it's. I wonder if this was maybe a reference to the sheepy shop, or because
Bear
Do you think-
really
do you think the
decided to just change his business, didn't he?
Well, do you think the proprietor of the honest to God sheepy shop? Maybe we should explain.
Oh yeah, one of the main. I almost called it a thoroughfare, but one of the main barely paved roads that leads to Rare headquarters is called Sheepy Street, and on Sheepy Street there's a sheepy shop.
Ah, that's where it comes from.
Right.
And then in Donkey Kong Land 3, the character Bizarre Bear, who Mario Wiki erroneously lists as Bear, or as we've taken that version, Bear.
Bear.
Bear Bear runs the sheepy shop, and it's kind of a card palace gambling casino type place, and
that name was baffling for so many years.
It makes no sense within the context of the game. Like, what is Bizarre Bear being sheepy?
How did you find out about Sheepy Street then? Is this what Chris Sutherland has told us?
No. This was when.
Yeah, that's the first thing he told us.
This was by direct observation when Matt Corna, Janelle, and I snuck onto Rare headquarters.
That's awesome. Sheepy Street.
You were chased off, Rare
We were
headquarters.
chased. Yeah, we snuck on and were subsequently chased off by their doddering security detail.
So anyway,
Lee Loveday, who it turned out looked like a human Cranky Kong, chased you with his.
he was actually a dog man. So no, my question was: do you think the proprietor of the real sheepy shop on Sheepy Street, excuse me, good lord,
Meryl
do you
Streep?
think that he just like started masturbating behind a counter one day? Like they went in to get a drink or something, like they went in to get some Pepsi Max or some whatever they drink in Twycross, and he had his cock out and he was plucking it, and they were like, "I've got a great idea for Bad Fur Day."
Is it
That's
definitely
where the game came from.
Is it definitely Sheepy Street or Sheepy Road? Because I'm looking this up on Google Maps now.
It's Sheepy something. It might not be street, but yeah, there's a road called Sheepy right around Rare headquarters.
Yeah.
It might not be on any official maps. It might be redacted, like Area 51.
There's Sheepy Lodge, which is a Sheepy Lodge.
It's called Sheepy Road.
Sheepy Road. Okay, Sheepy.
Thrills.
This is great podcasting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There it is.
Thrills as we look at Google Maps on our podcast.
Yeah, the last 45 seconds was Joe not believing me, going to the internet, and then saying, "Oh yeah."
Oh yeah. You're right. There is a Sheepy Road in Twycross.
Yeah.
I love that it just looks like the most barren country road in the world as well.
There is nothing there. Yeah, it's wide open.
You guys are gonna have to
country.
link me because I wasn't invited when Chad, Janelle, and Matt got chased off Rare headquarters. They didn't think to invite me, so you guys are gonna have to link me to this so I can see some
I
pictures.
assure you, there was not much to see. We kept thinking like, maybe Manor Park is right across that hill, right over that hill, right past that row of trees, and then what crested over that hill was the security van.
I just as you drove through Twycross, you spotted. Oh hey, look, there's jungle hijinks. Oh hey, look, there's Glitter Gulch Mine. Oh hey, look, there's Cloud Cuckoo Land.
Yeah. But at any rate, it's very nice to see that they are making these direct references to the original games, even things that are so obscure people don't even remember them. Like,
yeah, even if they're lost on the general gaming media.
right?
Yeah.
Right. So it's clear that this is being done with the fans in mind, and it's
Team Dakota, they're actually big fans of Conquer. That's what people don't understand. The whole reason this is being made is they pushed for it. We wouldn't be getting a Conquer game otherwise.
Yeah. And a little bit of interesting trivia that came out of this announcement is that one of the designers on Team Dakota working on Project Spark was a tester at Rare for Bad Fur Day.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
So how about that?
So, yeah, because people are complaining about this, and I'm seeing it. It's like, I think this would sell better if it was actually a real game outside of Project Spark, or well, why are they bothering? No, well, fuck Microsoft, fuck Rare, etc.
Yeah.
Fuck Sakurai. just because somebody needs to fuck him today.
That Sakurai gets a lot of action.
Yeah.
Well, he's eternally youthful man candy, Joe. I mean,
I can see how he got.
How could
I
he
can see how
not?
he got arthritis. Sorry.
He was trying to clean the mud out of his.
Oh Jesus! No.
Yes.
This is as a disgusting visual as the semen cookbook. It is right up there.
By the way, Chad,
is that what Johnny
I
Roger
found
uses? To create what's on his menu, the salty dumplings, Siemens brew.
He probably does. That horrible off-white, that mother of pearl, disgusting semen cookbook.
Oh.
By the way, Chad, I did find the perfect birthday gift for you this year. I may not be able to afford it since I have to buy an Xbox One now, but I'm just to let you know, I know you like to drink sometimes. I know you like a little drinky poo, and I found the perfect bartending book for you.
Oh boy.
Let's just leave it at that. So, yeah, I think people just need to chill. This is kind of awesome. Chris Seaver, honest to God, Conquer sequel. It's serialized, which I think out of all the Donkey Kong Universe properties, this includes Star Fox. I think Conquer lends itself best to this format of serialization and episodic installments.
Yeah. And what I really love about this, though, is that they waited until barely a month out before announcing it, unlike the aforementioned Star Fox, where we know.
Well, they announced it last year, and then they left us hanging for a long time.
Well, yeah, I mean the fact that it's going to be episodic, it's going to be this, it's going to be this, and you get to play it in a month. That's pretty cool.
Exactly. And, it's kind of like Diddy Kong Racing. They announced it almost a month before it came out.
Really? Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Diddy Kong Racing came out of fucking nowhere. They had to scramble to send out those VHS tapes.
Wow.
Yeah, but no, it's because they had to delay Banjo-Kazooie for 6 months, and that was going to be the big holiday game for 1997. And then, but Rare had Diddy Kong Racing almost finished, and they were like, "Oh, we can probably get
Chris
this out."
Sutherland just had to be a perfectionist.
Yeah. There's even going to be here in the States. There's going to be a Taco Bell promotion for Banjo-Kazooie.
That's right.
They had to scramble to change that to just a general Nintendo.
Yeah,
promotion.
wasn't it? I remember there were like Mario Kart toys. And...
Mario Kart. There was a Donkey Kong on a palm tree it was kind of like a little puzzle.
Right.
God, it was a different world, wasn't it? To what video game is like now.
Funky Kong was on the Taco Bell cups.
I'm really quite. I wish we still had this shit going on. I wish merchandise now didn't mean amiibos. I wish it still meant awesome McDonald's toys, not some little girl going, "Mummy, can you buy me a Princess Zelda amiibo?" And her mum going, "No, I can't, because a bunch of fat, sweaty nerds have bought all the Princess Zeldas and they now cost $5,000 a piece." Oh.
That's the end of that conversation.
That's my take on amiibo.
Well, yeah, amiibo is kind of...
Now go home, eat your Christmas supper.
Amiibo has been kind of ruined by the scalpers.
Yeah, it has. And I've bitched at my roommates about it because they're all hoarding them in their boxes. They're all starting to resemble like the guy from Toy Story 2. It's like, and I said, "Oh, you got Captain Falcon? Great. Can I? Well, let me know when you open that then, because I want to use it on Mario Kart 8. Because my friend likes F-Zero. He can pretend he's playing against Captain Falcon." And he goes, "No, that's staying in its box forever. I'm going to sell it and make money off it." For fuck's sake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is the new Beanie Babies, and just like Beanie Babies, the market will fall right out the bottom.
Actually, no, because toy collecting is kind of stabilized into this thing where if something goes up in value and they stop making it, it's going to stay up there in value. It never depreciates.
I just think look, geeks can do whatever they want. That's fine. I just don't really like that this is depriving the kids of the sheer joy and the experience of getting toys of the characters they like. I really, really hate that the kids are suffering Well, not
Although there is-
suffering. It's not fucking third world or anything. But kids like the people that.
Mummy, I want Princess Zelda, but I also want potable water.
Well, I didn't mean to do it as a Cockney thing. It's like, go for That's how I come across.
No, I took it there.
Why
sorry.
are you doing Helpo accents? I don't understand.
Try it now. That's better.
Do you know how crayon snake works?
Anyways, this. Oh, go ahead, Joe. I'm sorry. I was going to try to wrap this fucking episode up.
Okay,
Go
it's never
ahead.
gonna happen,
Say
is it?
some more stuff.
I can't remember. I swear I had more. I swear I had something.
Oh, well, you're talking about how they're basically taking all the toys from the children, basically.
Yeah, basically.
And won't someone please think of them?
I was about to say exactly that. I'm going to say,
Oh, really?
as Helen Lovejoy once said many times, won't somebody please think of the children?
You know, although I do like that Nintendo did say that they are not ruling out, maybe as a reaction to this, distributing the little chips on cards, so that even if all of the figurines are bought up, maybe for $5 a pop, you can still use the data on your RF reader.
Yeah, but that kind of kills the magic of Amiibo. Yeah, that kind of kills the magic of Amiibo for me.
By the way, when I
It's
said
saying
would
these aren't real characters.
I totally agree. I totally agree. But as a if we live in a world where manufacturing more of them is impossible, at least
manufacturing like more than 10
option.
of anything is impossible for Nintendo these days. It's fucking stupid. Pro
Well,
controllers.
Nintendo doesn't want to.
We'll make 4 Pro controllers there. And that's
And we'll
lunch,
make
everyone.
20,000 Pro Controller adapter, or we'll make 20,000 GameCube adapters.
Look, the fact is, Nintendo doesn't want to contribute to peak oil, and so they've got to conserve their petroleum supply somehow.
Right. That Nintendo is single-handedly staving off the apocalypse.
Why don't they just make brand new, make a machine that creates products that's powered by disappointment? Because there's fucking plenty of that going around. Am I right, folks?
Well, they would only make one of them.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But there might be disappointment in other sectors of the internet. But honestly, I
You could
really
harvest
think
the whole
that this
internet
is...
with disappointment. They could make so much merchandise if they could only harness this fuel source.
Well, they're not going to be getting any fuel from DK Vine, because I think we're all pretty excited about what Rare and X-Rare is up to. I mean, look at all this stuff we have coming out. This is ridiculous.
It is an embarrassment of DKU riches.
And hasn't it all just come out of nowhere as well? Like out of the blue.
Well, yeah, it's kind of it's sort of been it's the thing where
the tide has been turning slowly over the past couple of years.
We knew there were whispers of a few of these, and just all of a sudden it crescendoed in the last week.
Yeah,
and
the crazy thing is, we haven't even reached E3 yet. I mean, we haven't even seen what Rare is actually working on, which are Battletoads, but we haven't seen it.
Oh, yeah,
yet.
that's true. That's true. Actually, I remember people were kind of scoffing before, but Hyle was. You were saying we were gonna have a new golden age or whatever coming up soon. This is the dawning of our age of Aquarius.
I think we're actually leaving the Returns era. It's going to be a new era. Maybe call it the Rarenaissance.
The Rarenaissance.
I think.
Renaissance.
Yeah. Maybe we'll come up with a better term. For the purposes of this week, we're out of time.
all right, Renaissance it is.
This has been a File 2 production.
Que rico.
Never could be